Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, so I can't hear your voice. Can anyone explain? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, how many students have joined? I think only 15. So, we'll wait for another 2 minutes and then start. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Hello. So, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, welcome to our third session on data analytics. And so, in the data analytics, one of the important concepts which comes in is the how we collect the data and then preparation of the data. Because sometimes what happen, the data what we got may not be into the very useful form. For example, I gave the same example to previously also, like when you go for marketing, you for vegetables, you won't eat the vegetables in the raw form. You need to process the data. You need to process the vegetable in the eatable form. So that's why we need to do some preparation. Similarly, when we got the data may not be so much rich in the terms of more abstract information is not available. So in that case, what you need to do to some kind of preparation. And for that, we will be talking about some of the data analytics technique for doing the data preparation. Okay. So data collection definition is systematic process of gathering, measuring, and analyzing the information where we got the data from various sources. What does it mean? That it's a measurement of the data. For example, if you get the data, so what you will do first, you will do it's a process of collecting the data from various sources. Now, the very important point here is various sources. Like for example, if I have to collect the data of let's say COVID, So I'm not going to collect the data of COVID from only one particular district of India. I will be collecting it from the entire pan India. So that means that I will be collecting from various sources. And also, I would like to see how many are infected in a in more severe manner, or they have been infected from, let's say, use of some uh, like some kind of infectious way of disease has been spread. So what I mean here is that I will be trying to locate the various aspect of the data. So that is what the definition of the data means here, is that we collect the data in a systematic manner, right? Where we will be having a metadata. Have you heard about the metadata? Anyone? What does the metadata means?
It is data about data.
Metadata is like, for example, if I let's take a COVID example itself. So I will be collecting the metadata in the form that I will be telling that what is the age of the person, what would be the gender, and like whether this is coming from which part of the India, all the information about the subject, or you can say when we collect the data from a particular source, every single information is being collected in the form of some meta form. So, and that is what it's said to be metadata. So this is very, very important to get an idea about that. For example, if I told you that I'm working on the oral cancer also, where I'm trying to collect the data from various subjects. So subjects can be of various age, and subjects have a different different like you can say severity of the oral cancer. Like someone is in the level stage 1, someone is stage 2, someone in stage 3. So then there are have a different impact altogether. So I will be collecting all those thing information in some written form, and that may be in the form of text, that may be in form of CSV, or maybe an Excel sheet or whatever it is, but that is what it's said to be metadata. Okay, so that is very critical step when we do the collection of the data. So why data collection is so important? It's because you can actually do a lot of analysis on top of data. Once the data is not being collected, the analysis is makes no sense. So we need to do some decision. We need to have some decision making process, and then for that we need to put our efforts or analytics on the data itself. And then it will ensure. And then, for example, this is also very important point, that how do you make other person believe on your analysis? And it is only when you have done enough data collected, or you can say enough variations present in the data, and at the same time you are able to do the you are able to analyze the data. For example, you can see the accurately how reliable those results are. And when you do that reliability of that, it will give a faith on the others to believe on your results. Otherwise, this decision making process makes no sense, because then your decision may not be helpful for others, because then your analysis may not be helpful. So then it is help to identify the trend also. Like again, as I said in the previous case, descriptive analysis and many other predictive analysis and many other, we did that discussion, and all were having or indicating one important aspect is that trend which you observe in the data. And that is what the we will see in the data collection also. So what are the purposes we are going to solve with the data collection? Collect evidence to reach sound and clear solution. That is very important, because in that case, you will able to reach to the right conclusion. Understand the problems through relevant information. For example, you want to understand the various aspect of the problems, and also you would like to identify why this problem has come into the first place. And then you will measure the progress and identify the pattern, which I already talked about, the spotting the trends, which is another purpose of the data collection. Uh, I hope you understand this point, that why data collection becomes so important. Then, importance of data collection gives you the in the context of critical step in research, because someone many of you must be doing a lot of research in your day-to-day life, or in your companies, or in your enterprises. So there you will be doing a lot of analysis of the data, and then critical step in the analysis is to do the lot of strong investigation. And investigation can only be useful when your data is being collected properly, and hence it will ensure accuracy also, because it will give you the reliability, like kind of a faith people will have on your results. And consistency of the results will also make belief stronger. Like for example, your results, sometimes your results says that the patients who are below, or the subjects who are below 20 are affected more by the COVID. And some analysis says that the subjects above 20 are affected more by the COVID. Now, you can tell that is there any consistency in the results? Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes, yes,
Are you
yes.
able to understand my point that your consistency plays a very important role? That every time you do the research, it doesn't mean that you will get a new results. Obviously, you will get a new result, but the trend should be the followed. Like for example, there is a significant increase because of certain reasons, and there is a significant decrease in the mean or median or whatever the statistical results, but there is a specific reason for that. And if that reason is justified, then its consistency is maintained. But for example, I told you one stupid example here that maybe you can say that COVID is more severe for the younger age people. Though it was a wrong information, right? I'll tell you why. Because we never did the COVID and this one vaccine on the less than 14 years, I believe. This was that time it was happened that younger age kids were not being gone into the COVID vaccine. Only the higher age, higher above 14 or 14 or above. We observe that there is a need for COVID vaccine. Do you agree with this point? That
Yeah,
if
but
someone says,
we did
yeah,
not see any death as well for kids who are below 14. Yeah, I
that's
mean, as
that
per,
is the reason.
yeah,
That is the reason that you do not need to give that COVID vaccine.
that's right.
But
So,
if some result says that there is a significant impact on the younger age of the kids of the COVID, then you
mm,
say that it's not consistent. This result is wrong. This
mm,
statistical results is not believable. Why? Because the trend says something else. The research says something else. The investigation says something else. And
correct.
if you come up with the wrong result and if you are not ensuring the accuracy, then no one will have faith on your results. So exactly what I was trying to say, that your data collection, and if some and by mistake you have collected the data in from those sources which says this point, that there is uh, below 14 or below certain age of younger kids, there was significant impact of COVID, then you are actually having a wrong information. So
Mm,
that is what my point was, that your critical step is research.
right.
I hope you agree with this point, that why data collection, you can do any it's not that difficult, to be very honest. You can go and collect the data from any source, but reliable source is the one, because it will give you the consistency of the results. So that is where you have to be very much judicious in your process of collecting the data from the right sources. And second, if your results are really accurate and ensuring the consistency, then your decisions will be well noted and well identified and also well accepted also, because in that case your decision making process will be considered to be correct. It is like informed decision. So otherwise, you see that there is a connection between each and every step. If the data collection is not consistent or not correct, or it's not been focused properly from the right sources, then you cannot ensure accuracy. Then your decision will not be correct. People will not have a faith on your results, and then you are not trying to spot the trends, because your results were wrong. You have not seen the recent trends, but you have just got the wrong source, and then from there you got your analytics done. So that's why you have to identify the right source, and from there you will also see the faith in those results, because you will see the pattern. You will observe the pattern and market trends, that yes, this is consistent. And then you will can measure at the end, you can do the measurement of the progress, that you can track that and evaluate the performance. And then so key takeaway point, if you mentioned in this slide, is data collection is the foundation for accurate results. This is one thing which one we should always agree. Your accuracy of the algorithm is not depend on how your algorithm is, how good your algorithm is. It depend upon how good your accurate your correct the accurately your data collection is. So that is where you please, yeah, please, any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to know that,
Yeah.
like you gave the example of COVID. Uh,
Yes.
so in this case, like, do we go by the observation and then do the research, or do we base our observation on research? The reason I ask
No.
this question is because suppose
Yeah.
the trend was that the people, the kids who were below 14 years were not affected by COVID. I mean, there were hardly any deaths below 14 years of age. So
Absolutely.
based on that data, or we can see that people are not dying who are below 14 years of age. So the research was based on that direction, that okay, let's do research on people who are above 14. But there was no research done on people who were below 14.
Yes, true. I'll tell you why this happened, because there was government involved informed data. You must have seen that. So
Hmm.
government was trying to give you the recent trend, what is happening every day, and it was there on the websites also. You must have seen that, correct? So what happened that they always give you the right information. So at least one thing which we have to be faith on is like the correct sources should be from the government one, not
Okay.
from the private sources,
Okay.
because the private you cannot have rely on. For example, if I ask you that can you rely on the for example, you must have seen this medicine from Jan Aushadhi.
Yes.
Jan
Yes.
Aushadhi, and also you have seen the what is this name was there from Pradhan Mantri
Yes.
Aushadhi,
Janoshki Pradhan.
something is, yeah, something like from the government
Yes.
resources.
Yes.
So you know that exact price of that medicine. But what you will see in the private means go to the any other medical, you can go to the medicine center, and then you will see that its prices are very much high. But on the government rates, it is exact rates.
But sir,
This
do
much
you?
is,
But
yeah,
yeah, my question is that there are a lot of discussions about the GDP data that we get on a regular basis, on a year-to-year basis. That GDP data is inflated. It's not the right GDP data that we get as per the information that is available to us, because that is being inflated or changed by the
yes.
government as per their own benefits.
But then whom you believe then? If you do
Yes.
not believe on the government data, then
Mm,
how do you cannot believe at least on the private data.
okay.
First thing, you can go to the any place, and then for example the rates of the hotels, for example, if you go to the subsidized rates from the government side, it is something less. And when you see the without subsidized, it is something skyrocketing. And in that case, you can see that everywhere. It's not only the hotel booking, it's not only the medicines, it's not only the COVID or any other thing. Only reliable source should be from the government, at least what I feel, because private can have multiple people can involved in it, and then whom to believe. But government is only one. So that's why at least you can have the correct, accurate data, at least reliable data, I would say. Even if you say there is some kind of infiltration or something like that, but still, you have no other source to justify that is this an infiltration or not.
Okay.
Yeah, at least we will start from there. If you do some analysis on any recent topic or any recent hot you can see any particular area which you are interested in of the related to government or something like which is interested to you, you have to believe on the data of the this one. In fact, this climate change and other things, it's come from IMD only. So you have to believe on that. No other like you can say entity is there to tell you that this is the right one and which claims that it is better than the government one. Sometimes we have to go with this point only. So that's what I'm saying. Your resources, that is what I first point was, from various resources, and resource should be the correct one. It should not be the one which you are starting from the wrong. As I said in the COVID example, if someone gives you this information that there was significant death happened in the early ages of the kids in the COVID, you can say that, "Arey, yaar, ye to wrong. This is completely bullshit. This is not at all correct. This is damn wrong." So that's what my point was. Data collection is to be very much foundationally correct. Because if your foundation is wrong, your building on top of it will not be correct. That's the ultimate objective. Yeah. So then comes the data collection methods. That, for example, we have first-hand data and then we have secondary data. This is very important, actually. This is what answered your question also. Where you get this first-hand data? First-hand data is the right one from the resource itself, from the like you can say from the exact resource. So primary ones can be like collecting data from the source specifically from research purpose, and it's a first-hand data. Like what are these? You can get the right information on the surveys or questionnaires, interviews, observation, experiments, And where you get the secondary, which corresponds to the already collected and processed and published by others. Now, this is where some suspicious things can come. Someone has wrongly published something and no one has objected, then you may have the wrong data from the secondary. So better one should be collect from the primary data. The primary means the original one, the one which is coming from the right from the source. And secondary, published by the others, or you are getting or processed by some other person. So here you can see secondary literature review. You must have done some literature review and you got to know that, okay, there is significant death in the COVID for the early ages kids, and then you get a wrong information. So secondary may be a little bit suspicious, or maybe like less authenticated, but still not all are wrong, but there are still something better. You should go from the primary. That is what the ultimate idea should be. And you can also have a secondary from a government database, which can be also written, and like for example constitutions. So there is something in the constitution, so it is 100% correct. So you can get the secondary data from the government data. Commercial database also, you can get some information. And web scraping, if you go and see on the internet and search it, maybe you will get some secondary information who must have published by someone else. But yes, primary one is always the most accurately information which you will get from. Okay, so the primary data, how you will do that? If you look at the information collected directly from the first-hand source, I told you the original one, specifically for the research purposes. So fresh data collected for your specific research, it's mainly for research purpose also. But and again, if you are doing analytics, then again, primary source is always been the important source. Then it comes the current, what you see in this in a primary, it is a current and relevant, most relevant, I would say. It is your objective should be met in that case, because whatever you are trying to do, a particular objective is there, and then you are trying to succeed in that objective with very accurate results, because then it is coming from the primary, is coming from the first hand, it's the original one. High accuracy, obviously very less risk of errors, because no arbitrations, no modifications, nothing has been done in the original source. That's why we always say that you should have an original copy of your everything. So your original should be there. So yeah, that is the reason. Quality control, the full control over the data quality, because here you will make sure that the data is absolutely impeccable. There is no error at all, and it is 100% accurate. So that's what it's said to be in terms of quality. Any questions, any doubts so far?
No.
Okay. Please feel free to ask, because these are very important topic to understand from where we get that. Because when we go for analytics, which we are going to do in the future classes, but first we have to understand where we get the data from. So primary talks about 6 main methods for collecting the data. First one is the interviews, questionnaires, observations, experiments, focus groups, that's a group discussion, local sources, the corresponding and local agents. So interview is like a podcast, something like you must have seen. A lot of information comes from there, and it's a very rich information because it comes from the right person itself, right from the actual person who used to be involved in that particular uh, regime, or in particular that which you are interested in. For example, any for example, if you ask Sachin Tendulkar to come on podcast and give us the information about what happened on 2011 World Cup final, before final, all those information will be 100% accurate, because that is coming from the right person itself, from the right source itself, and then it's been on air, so they are very much sure that it is not going to be, it is not, it should be 100% accurate information they should put up. They should not lie anything, or they should not give any wrong information, because those are like absolutely correct, should be informed to others, because it is going to be on air. Questionnaires, as you know, when we discuss the questionnaires, and then we get a lot of information from the questionnaire. For example, FAQs. Have you heard about FAQs?
Yes.
On the website.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
What does that FAQs correspond?
What is what exactly?
For example, I'm asking you on, let's say you are have a booked an Indigo flight and it got cancelled, and then now what you will do, what you have a lot of questions after that.
Yeah, so just the ticket, at the back of the ticket, we see a lot of information like the FAQs. What should be done under what circumstances? So we should go with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all your queries are being resolved at there itself. At there itself, that okay. For example, I'll tell you one incident happened with me as well. By mistake, my fund was deducted. My this, but my ticket was not booked. And then I went to the FAQs, and then they say if this has happened, it will come within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I got that in within 30 minutes also. And that is what the FAQs is so important. It helps you to get the right information at the right instant itself, without much of delay, without you have to call and some person and then get all those information. Everything is there on the website. FAQs are there, frequently asked question, and the corresponding answers are also there. Have you observed this point? Questionnaires, and when you have some question, you can see on the FAQs, you will, most of the time your query has been resolved. But yes, if still there are certain specific queries, then we have to go for calling to the customer cares and other things.
Yeah, so we have that, like if your internet is not working, then you need to see, then you raise a ticket, then they give you the FAQs that what needs to be done. Follow these steps. We follow the
Absolutely.
steps. If it's resolved, it's fine. Otherwise, we have to escalate it further.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any other example you have questionnaires where you get the data? Anyone has done that before or something? I would be happy to listen from them if there is any person who has followed the questionnaire to get the primary data, or in any task, not for the data collection, but yes, anything. Any example? Sorry. No? Okay, I'll tell you, I did that actually. Have you heard about this crowdsourcing?
Yes.
What do you mean by crowdsourcing?
Yeah, crowdsourcing means that suppose there's a cancer patient and the treatment for the patient is very high. It requires a lot of money. Then we go into crowdsourcing or crowdfunding, where we ask from people that okay, this is the situation, and this is the medical documents, and this is the prescribed drugs, and these are highly expensive drugs, and we need people who can contribute whatever they can, and then we can follow the treatment process for that patient.
But then where is the data collection part here? I'm talking with respect to the data collection.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah. These are recent and very important topics. Crowdsourcing sourcing is a kind of a play. It's a kind of a game. We ask questions, and in turn we get the answers from the crowd. And for example, I did this during my PhD. I'll tell you how. Because most of my data was from the speech. I work in speech and AI and ML, and so all the data analytics on the voice. So I have to collect a lot of data. So what I did, in fact, this was the idea from my supervisor during that time. He told me that, Karan, why don't you go and do the crowdsourcing? I said, what does it mean? The same question I asked to him. Then he told that, okay, you just prepare some questions and then ask, and then start recording their voices. Oh yes, of course. Ask their first, first they are okay to record their voice, and then yes, get their consent on first recording, and then if they are okay, then do play this game with them. And then I go and in the multiple people, multiple shopkeepers, and then I started asking some question, of course, after getting their consent, and then I collect the data, and those data is my useful for my research. And that helps me to do the analytics on the data as well, like how their voice changes, how their patterns, specific trends, everything I observed during the set of questions which I prepared, and I get the answer while in return of the responses, and I record those responses. That's it. This is beautiful way of doing the data collection. Have you now you understand what I mean by crowdsourcing?
Yes.
This is another way of looking at the how the accurately your data would be collected. While you put some questions, you get the answer from that. Okay. Then comes the observations. You can observe from their behavior. This is comes in the sentimental analysis. You can do a lot of sentimental these days. This data analytics plays a very important role. I'll tell you why. In the social media, people being are very active. Okay, and they put a lot of their comments, lot of their photos, lot of their stories, and from their from their stories, from their photos, from their this one text, uh, you can identify what kind of state of mind that person is in, whether he is having some kind of suicidal conditions or he is actually going through mental trauma or something like that, and he is needs some kind of immediate help. Though he put it on that and then he didn't expect to get the help, he just put it because he's fond of doing this activity since very old age, that he's been putting everything on his social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. But there are um, certain particular things present in the social media or Instagram that they you can identify the sentiments, observe their stories, their behaviors, and in turn it will help you to provide a certain support in terms of like financial, mental, or whatever it is. It can be helpful. So this is again a kind of a data collection to analyze from their recording their behaviors. So when something like that, sending off, signing off, it has multiple meanings. Signing off means I'm quitting, I'm quitting, I'm leaving something, leaving from the job or leaving from any particular place or whatever it is. But yes, you can observe those informations, and that will be helpful to do the sentimental analysis, and then it can be useful for identify the trends, that if this comes out to be, it means that this is going to happen. You can predict the situation. You can actually do some kind of predictive analysis on top of it from these observations. This is again a very beautiful thing, but yes, a lot of things are happening in this direction. Then comes the experiments. You can do the lot of uh, data collection in the controlled environment, because for example, you do in the lab, you can do it in a particular constraint environment. Okay, focus group, you know that it is very common these days to get the group discussion of 6 to 12 participants, and then you can collect the data and then also do the record the data. Then comes the local source, the correspondents and the local agents. Interviews, I told you, personal interaction, open-ended question, in-depth and insights. You can all this can come in the interviews. In the interview is actually one-on-one. It's a podcast kind of thing, and then you can collect the data in a very straight manner, in the conversation manner. So it's a conversation speech, which you can collect the data. Your videos can be recorded, your audios can be recorded, and all this face-to-face conversation can be happen. Even this can happen on the live, or it can happen on the phone also. So you can have both the ways together. Any questions? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Then there are different types of interviews which mainly are conducted. Type 1, type 2. Type 1 talks about the direct one, the personal, so personal contact. So in this case, you have um, investigator makes direct contact. It means you can have a personal discussion, it happens. And indirect is oral, no direct contact with the source, maybe through others. For example, have you seen some movies where they record the intercepts of the terrorist, and they get to know the information from there, though they are not directly involved, but yes, their intercepts are already been recorded, and then this is not a direct contact, but still you can record them and then identify the information from there. Yes, this is the indirect oral information, which is type 2. Now, what are the, yes, any doubts so far or questions if you have any? Okay. So interviews are pros and cons. What we have is real-time data that is natural, absolutely authentic, because there is no you can because you are talking on air and it's live. So there is no such like you can say any kind of manipulation is very difficult to be happen. But when it comes to the disadvantage, you may see that some kind of biasness. So personal views may influence result. So in that case, what happens that you can actually avoid certain topics or certain things, and you have a bias towards certain point which you do not want to speak on, and then you can personal views may influence in those results. So this has one of the disadvantage of the interviews. Then comes the limited visibility. It is restricted to observable behaviors. Like, for example, it is restricted to particular time instant itself. So limit, like you cannot see the entire like for example, if you see a person who is very good on air, but he's doing mischievous activities with when he's not on air. On air means when he's not been recorded, he's doing some wrong activities. He's talking a very good things on phones on air, when it has been during the personal interaction. But at the back, when he's misbehaving with his family, he's beating his family, misbehaving with its kids. But on air, he's talking about that we should take care of family and something like that. So this limited visibility can be can restrict your behaviors. Like for example, you cannot have the exact behavior which you can record of a person, which is very different from what is on air and what is not on air. So this is another disadvantage of it. Influence on subject. The presence may alter natural behavior. For example, certain subjects. This happens. I'll tell you how. Uh, when we like, for example, you are giving me you are providing a feedback to me that how the Dr. Karan has been involved his lectures, whether he's interactive or not. Certain questions has been asked to you, and then they started asking in person, not only on writing. So what happened that when I am in the front of you, you will say always good. Okay, no, Dr. Karan is very good. He always asks questions. He always allows to speak. He is very positive. He's very optimistic. He's like blah blah blah. But when as soon as I leave that meeting, and then the feedback would have been a completely different. Like then the natural behavior comes in that no, in front of that person you cannot speak. So that happens in the case of hair also. The presence may alter natural behavior. So uh, your actual what you want to say, you cannot say when the person or that subject is present. So that means that you have to tell in the absence of it only. So that is what influence on the subject. Yeah. Then comes a questionnaire. Like you can do the lot of collecting the data by asking. This was again the crowdsourcing situation, which I was trying to say. Collect the data by asking people a set of questions. You can have the online, paper, face to face, mailing methods, possibility, questionnaire mailed with a purpose letter. For example, many of times our humanities department here in IIT Jammu, they do a lot of do the data collection, and what they do, they put up a kind of a Google form, and they ask us few basic information, and then we have to provide some of the questions, the answer to those questions being asked. It's very simple, very personal, and then you can put those things in a text form and then submit. And those are in the form of Google form are being recorded, and that will be like kind of a mailing method. You can get those information directly from the person, and then you can get those record those data. Then comes the enumerator method, which enumerator reach out and with a prepare form. For example, a person comes in and started asking you some of the questions and enumerate it, and then you have to illustrate those answers to those questions. So, inexpensive way to reach larger audience. That is a one difficult problem. That when
Yeah,
you
but
have a yeah
how these two methods, how
yeah
I mean legible they are in terms of application? Like, can we depend on these methods for information?
absolutely yeah
Okay.
you can, because these are primary source. Okay,
Okay.
I'll tell you. Your name is Bakchi, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Niladri Bakshi.
Yeah.
Okay, Niladri, if I ask you about yourself, what you will tell something, correct? So I'm this kind of person. I'm very optimistic. I like for traveling. I like this. I take care of my family, and then I love kids. I love pets. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I got your information. But now, if I ask third person about you, do you believe him, or I should believe him, or you? You tell me.
Yeah, the chances are more that you should believe me, but I can be
That's
misleading
what
as
I'm
well
trying
about
to say.
myself.
So
That's what
that is what
happens.
it's there, no? There's a
Yeah,
bias.
bias. Yeah.
Bias is there. But if I'm putting much on the emphasis on you yourself, ensuring that this bias is less, then I think it is correct.
So
And
what
how I
I'm,
can do the
yeah, what
yeah,
I'm trying to understand is that, for
yeah,
example, if we are doing it for any business, we are
yeah,
sending mails to customer to understand what is their behavior pattern in terms of using that product.
perfect.
So
Yes, go ahead. Yeah,
how much authentic the information we will get, I'm not sure, but it's just a query from my side that how much authentic the information will be when we are working, suppose as a business analyst, and we want to know how the products will be perceived and conceived in the market. Okay,
absolutely. A
so
good point. Yeah.
yes, so how do we go ahead and I mean, can we rely on this data from
I think
mailing?
yes. I
Okay.
think yes. Yes. Why I'll tell you. Because first thing, if they are anonymous, you are
Mm,
hidden all those information about their personal information. For example, you are asking me, and you have sent it to this form to multiple people. Okay, and
mm,
multiple people, but and they got this form not directly from you but from someone else also, correct?
okay.
Then you wanted to say that I want to be completely unbiased, and I want to be get as accurate as this. So please hide your information, hide your name, identity, details, everything. Just talk about the product itself. Then
Mm,
what's the wrong in the telling them if the product they are using
mm,
without any information of theirs?
mm,
If you ask me also, like what is WhatsApp? If someone asks me about the WhatsApp, let's suppose
mm,
the original person has asked these certain dealers, and dealers has sent this form to us, then I will hide my information and tell that, yeah, the in a WhatsApp you cannot store the information for a long time. If my data is like for 30 days and then I want to go back and see my PDF is completely wrong, then it is asked that please ask the original sender to send again. I want to avoid this step. This is a good point, correct?
right. Okay.
You
And what is
understand?
the percentage that we can rely upon? Suppose if the positive and negative, positive is 80%, 20%, or 70-30, is there any percentage where we should think that, okay, we should go ahead with this product?
Absolutely. Good point. Again, very good point. How much you rely on it. For
Mm,
example, if the feedbacks
mm,
are after listening or after going through the feedback, do you see that this feedback is genuine? Then you will rely 100%. If the feedback is not genuine, you will not rely even a single percent. How you
mm,
will feel that is a feedback is genuine? You know the problem with of that system. For example, you have developed a kind of a cream,
mm,
sunscreen. You have developed it. Let's say
okay.
XYZ, Bachi creams. Let's say.
Mm,
Okay. Then you know that it is under certain constraint, it is perfectly fine. But
mm,
like for certain people whose skin is dry and other things, this may not be helpful.
okay.
Let's suppose you forget to tell that.
So I will try to match the information that I have with the information which I am getting.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So you know that, okay, I forget to put that thing very explicitly that
Mm,
this is only for kids, or this is only for above 14 or above 15, and you forget to do that. Let's suppose.
mm, okay.
Then started kits were also used and they got rashes. Then
Mm,
they put a feedback. Okay, this has happened, and okay, I thought, oh, this is absolutely right comment. I got it.
mm,
I need to take it as this feedback as constructively, not destructively, constructively, and try to improve it from the next time onwards.
okay.
So why don't you, if you are open enough to take the right feedbacks or constructive feedbacks or the negative feedbacks, I think it is going to be helpful.
Okay.
So it depends upon the person, or it's depend upon the enterprises also, that whether they accept that feedback and then match it what is the original one, which you know the best.
Hmm.
You have developed the product and you yourself know that what is the best part, what is the bad part.
Hmm. Okay.
If the bad part comes in and if it matches with your information, I think then you are okay. Yeah, everyone is saying correct. Then I cannot say, no, I'm not going to do that. You have to take that feedback and improve it in the next products.
Hmm. Right.
So the mailing method is not bad unless it is hidden. Why I'm saying hidden? Because sometimes people try to avoid providing their information, and that you
Privacy.
all know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
privacy. For
Yeah.
example, you gave the feedback to me.
Hmm.
Just think about it. Would you and that feedback comes to me only
Hmm.
after going through this in middle is a platform where you are talking, and then that platform send it to me, correct?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
at the end it comes to me only.
Right.
So that means would you like to put your name there?
Hmm.
No. That is very straightforward. You try to avoid your name, but you want to put that information that sir is doing this thing wrong. This should be informed. Then I will take it very proactively, and then I'll try to improve it from the next time.
Hmm. Right.
That one should be open enough to understand that fact. So this mailing methods are absolutely so like they're absolutely correct. So I believe one should have faith on it. Okay.
Okay.
So questionnaire is also mailing and enumerator that you can talk and outreach it and get those information. For example, you go to the villages and talk to the people. What are the problems you are facing?
Yeah.
You
So
must
the
have seen
people.
NGOs.
Yeah. The
NGO.
people who cannot, write mails or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
So NGO does this same thing. They go to the village to village and then try to go inside and depth and to got to know what are their problems. Whether
Yeah.
there's electricity, whether there is a problem of the medicine, whether the health is properly healthcare is there, or all the things being enumerated. Correct?
Right.
Hmm. Now, answer to your questions are also here. The pros and cons. I can go to the large audience, reach many people quickly because it's my I can send by mail, and you know that mailing is like you can thousands at one
At
time you can
one.
do that
Yes. Yes.
at one
Hmm.
go. But whereas about the cost effective is also very less because you just have to use the internet and then try to put that information to all.
Hmm.
And very fast. You can get the data within in quick seconds. Not seconds, I mean, very quickly.
At 1 or 2 days, we can get it.
1 or 2 days, yes,
Yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And whereas you see in the disadvantage is a biased also. Somewhere you that thing we cannot remove. For example, I'll tell you this fact. Um, if I know you Bakshi is very proactive, okay, and he asks questions. So from the reviews of your feedback, I can even sense it that even you have not put your name. I can sense that
Hmm.
you have written this.
Hmm.
Can I or can I not? And
Yes,
that
you
is
can.
very easy to do that.
Hmm.
And not only me,
No,
I
but
think everyone
there is a catch here. If someone else is also the
yeah,
same proactive as me, then you would not
absolutely.
know.
But then again, both of you may have been proactively put a lot of questions in the
Uh-huh.
feedback.
Yes. Right.
So these are like biased things. I can still identify that. Correct.
Yeah.
So then it will not be like 100% hidden. It can have some information can still be find out. Then low response rate. It is possible that few people may not reply. This happens because when we ask many times, the Google form, the collection of the data, we have sent so many forms. They do not respond sometimes, and only one or two or three or four hardly few people responded. So again, we have to go and tell them, okay, please call them. Okay, please submit this form. Please submit this form. So
Mhm.
again, this is low response rate is possible. Incomplete answer could also be there. For example, question may be skipped. For example, you cannot be having a control on it.
Mhm.
So when you do not have a control that, okay, every answer should be like 500 words and they can give you 100 words only, then
Mhm.
what you will
Right.
do? Okay. So next is observations. So you can observe that I told you this is also very important in terms of analyzing the real time data. You can see the this one on the social media. You can see, or some people are very much proactive on their WhatsApp. You can identify their WhatsApp status. You can identify the data from there, that okay, what kind of trauma he is going, or what kind of situation he is in. All this can come in the natural behavior. Like you can identify from the observing their data, observing their reporting them. No self-reporting, no direct. It is indirect way. It eliminates subject bias, that if you ask me about myself, then you may get positive only in front of me. So this means you do not have the person in front of you. It will completely unbiased. Systematic recording. Notes taken in organized manner, you can collect the data, naturally it occurs. So this is observation you will get. Then what are the advantages of this? I hope you are like sync with me on this, or you want to skip, or you want to go move fast, and please tell me. I will be open to do that, if that is okay, or you want more discussions, because no one is speaking except one. So I wanted more interactive, but unfortunately, very less people are speaking today. I don't know why. Is it okay, everyone? The class is going well, or what? So you want something fast or something slow or something like that? Please let me know.
No, sir. Is it
No, it's
okay?
absolutely fine.
Need another set of examples.
Yeah, Meghna, what kind of thing examples you are asking? Can you little bit explain?
Yeah, like you said, over biasing, unless in a like go village, we'll go to village and solve the problems like that.
Yeah, very
Some more
good point.
examples.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
See, you think is as an NGO. What is the job of NGO? What they do? They are just other than the part of the government, they are trying to collect those information which are missed by the government. Correct?
Yes.
They try to extract those hidden information which has not been informed or not been told to the actual government, because again there's the biased. For example, if prime minister himself come, not prime minister is a very big person, let's say CM comes, people will talk about only good things. Yes or no?
Yes.
Would they talk about the difficulties they are facing in the rally or something like that? He comes and then he asks you, he spends some time. Do you think that people will be so much strong enough that they will start cursing their government?
Yeah,
They
instead
will
of
not.
them, they won't.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. If the same example I give it to now only, that if you want to give a feedback to me, what you will say? Dr. Karan is very good. He is blah blah blah. He's very good. Blah blah blah. All positives. But where are the negatives? Because as a person myself, if I am as a person, I would like to improve. Positives are not going to help me to improve. Do you agree? The negatives are going to help me to improve.
Yes.
So what NGO does? NGO try to get those information which are not been informed properly to the government itself. They try to get those hidden information. They try to see the situation by themselves, staying in their places, and then try to get those information. For example, they will stay at night and then see whether the light is there or not. The claims made by the government is true or not. All this data will be collected. This is one random example I'm talking about. Maybe multiple examples are there. So subject bias is the one strong reason that maybe your results or maybe your data might have a some kind of inaccuracy, little bit inaccuracy, because then you are not having absolutely spot on results or accuracy. So that is what I'm trying to say is with the subject bias. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else has any question? Okay. So observation will have no bias. Observation will have natural behavior. Sorry, bias will always be there, and their personal views influence results. So alter behavior, presence may change action, limited visibility, So can only see observable behavior. But yes, other behaviors we cannot see that. The other behavior, what I'm trying to say is that if you have, if I've been very fond of putting everything on WhatsApp, that I'm signing off, I'm enjoying, I'm playing. But what about the other time? You can only see when I'm putting those things.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to know is that the information that we are getting in these PPTs and all, we will probably have a test at the end of the session conducted by XLR. Now, the information that you are giving us here, is this, I mean, the questions will be based on these informations and these examples
Absolutely.
that, okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Nothing else.
Okay, fine.
It is within this class, whatever we have discussed. It is
Okay.
cannot go beyond that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Then
you
comes
go
the
ahead.
experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experiments means that we will collect the data in a lab environment, in a controlled environment. Controlled means that you have been put up everything in the within the four walls and then try to extract the data. But the real one is very far away. Sometimes we do that. I'll tell you one real example. You must have seen the ocean, correct? I think everyone has seen the ocean.
Yes.
Ocean. Okay. Inside the ocean, you will see there is a waves, correct? There's the pressure waves, which it's a current actually flows. Current means that the waves which creates inside in the ocean, it's because of the current flow. Now there are many mammals, there are many fishes, sharks, many things goes. If I am interested in doing some kind of ocean engineering, interested in the some kind of research inside underwater, then I have to go inside the ocean and do the collection of the data. Like you must have seen the Titanic, where it was gone and sinked. You want to identify those situations. One example. And then you may have other examples of like identifying the location of enemy submarine. You must have seen the movie of Ghazi attack. Exactly what has happened inside the underwater is you want to identify the location of the enemy submarine. All these are real application in underwater with respect to the defense, with respect to the data mining or sea mining, whatever it is there. Okay. But now I cannot go to the ocean. As in Jammu, definitely there is no ocean. Okay, you know that. Now what but I myself work in the underwater acoustics. I work in the underwater acoustics. Then in underwater research, I created a lab here in IIT Jammu. Okay. And that lab is again a limited space lab. It cannot develop the lab which is mimicking to the actual ocean. And that I cannot do at any stage of my life. What I did, I created a lab of 20 cross 25 feet and with a variable depth of 2 feet to 6 feet. But then again, this much is not enough to do the real stuff. This much is not enough to do the real stuff. Absolutely right. Then what I will do? I have to create to some extent, like there is a reflections, like in the ocean, reflections of the this waves. That is waves is come from the bottom, not from the side walls. But since we have as an ocean, the underwater lab, we have a reflection from all the four walls. Then this means that it is a constrained environment. It is not the actual environment where I collect the data. But since I cannot go into the real ocean to collect those data, I need a lot of permission. In fact, I will never get permissions to go and do that. Now I have created that similar environment here at IIT Jammu, and then I did whatever it is possible to the best of my knowledge, to the best of the limitations present with me, given the space, given the limit, what I will do, then I cannot do that. In that case, what I will be doing is I have to, within that, I have to do the constrained environment. I will do the data, but that data may not be the accurate data. That will be variabling. That will have some kind of manipulation, some kind of some changes, which you may not see in the ocean environment, but in the underwater lab environment, I may have that changes. So that is means that the controlled environment is having certain disadvantages, that it is not giving you the real feel. But yes, to some extent it is mimic, but not exactly. So that is what the experiment is all about. Next, now in the experiments, we have pros and cons. The advantages is cause and effect. Clear causal relationship, you can see that. High precision, accurate measurement of effects, controlled, isolate a specific variable. But what are the disadvantages? It is, to some extent, it's artificially generated. It's not exact real one. And long duration to complete the data, that is true also. And also, you see, it has resource intensive. You have to create a full setup to do that data collection, which is not possible without making a lot of efforts. So that is the disadvantages of the experiments. Yeah, then comes the focus group. That is the last in the primary data set. So in the primary, you can have the guided discussions. Obviously, you will have a small group of 6 to 12. And then you can open up a discussion. For example, I'll tell you what is exactly happened in our IIT Jammu. We are like trying to develop a new BTech engineering program, and for that, a lot of discussions are happening. But discussions cannot happen on the 100 people at once. So what we did, we started having a 6 to 12 people or 20 people, not that 6 to 12, but 20, 25 people, odd groups have been called. And then it's a guided discussion, and then every discussion has some certain objectives. And then we have been asked to do certain answers to those questions, that what is the benefit of this program, how this program is going to be useful, what are the placement scenarios, blah, 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 blah. And everything is being discussed from in and out. It means that it is very interactive, first of all. And then all the participants share their opinion very freely, because it's a guided discussion, because I can see one to one. When it is 100 or 200 people, I cannot discuss every individual in a detail or in a depth. So this gives you an in-depth analysis about the data, about a particular program or about a particular product, what you want to raise. Similarly, in our case, it's a program which we want to launch. So we discuss it in a smaller groups. And then there is a moderator, obviously. A same moderator will do it for all the groups, because he can identify the answers of one particular group. Then he will try to see the correlation. Now I can do a lot of statistical analysis. Now you can see that. What do you mean by statistical analysis? I can try to match the answers of one group with other, second with third, third with fourth, and likewise I can have multiple people together, multiple answers, multiple correlations. I can do a lot of analysis. I can see the mean of it. Then everyone say this program is good or bad. For example, let's say categorical only, yes or no. Okay. Then I will try to see how many people within a group say yes and across the groups. I can get to know that, okay, out of, let's say 100, 20, 20, 20, let's say 5 groups over there. 60 people say yes. Then what is my percentage of this positive people who positive intent for this particular course is 60%. And there are certain who says is no also, like say 20%. And there are who say that both yes or no. So then it is 20%. Then I can easily identify this. Okay, on a larger scale, I got to know that this program is a worthy to start, because I got 60% votage. It's similar thing happened in the parliamentary also on any bill which is being passed. Recently, there was a pass on the women's reservation. I hope you are aware of the recent
Yes,
trends.
delimitation, not women's reservation, actually.
Sorry?
It was more of a delimitation bill than women's reservation.
Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say is a group is a guided group. It's a guided group. It's a small group. I hope you understand. This is now. Can you see the authenticity of this one? Now, your question, Niladri, did it answer this question of authenticity?
Yes, that's right. No, but
This is,
my concern here is that we, in a society, we do believe that most of the people have a positive intent rather than negative. We believe on this fact and then we are moving. Am I correct in saying that?
for what context?
Any context. Like if we are trying to make a program, suppose tomorrow, like you gave the example that you want to, the IIT Jammu wants to start the BTech program. Now, if we have people, suppose there are professors and lecturers like you who would actually support the program. And there may be professors who may not be that positive about this whole
Absolutely.
yes, this whole idea. So we
Correct.
in a group, in a society, we do feel that more people are positive rather than negative attitude, who can actually start and end a program in a positive direction. Do we first assume that and then we go accordingly? Am I
No,
correct?
no. We don't assume anything here.
Okay.
See, it is the statistics on which we will want to have play with. For example, I take the majority into the account. I'll say that, okay, one question, as I said, how many of you are in favor of this program?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 60% say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Will 60% have been assumed before the start of the program? No.
No, that's
You can have one.
that
You can
that
have 1, 2 people or 3 people who have started and then started this initiation or the discussion. But you cannot have a 60 people beforehand to start with this.
No, that is not my question. My question is that when we see a lot of movies where the protagonist of the movie, they go ahead and do some impossible task because they believe that they will be able to do it. That is the whole idea. So if I believe that I will be able to complete this task, then I will go ahead with it. But if there
But
are
then
10
you
people,
need a support. You need a support from others.
yes, exactly. That's my point. So
You need a
I
support.
support
Yeah.
myself because I have the idea. I
But
believe
that is
in
the
myself.
only one vote.
Okay.
Only one vote. What about the other 100 people who are in your group?
Yes.
You need
Yeah.
remaining 99 votes to get that things to go further.
Right.
Again, it's a statistics. Again, I believe in a statistical say. I cannot say anything without statistics. I'll tell you very clearly because I'm a statistician. Mathematician, you say, statistician, you say, artificial intelligence, you say, because all are joined together. They are sisters, brothers like that now. So I feel anything which you want to do now in a current scenario, you need a statistical belief. If you want to start any product as a business analytics, you want to start a product, then you will first try and test at your own place. Just like it says that charity begins at home, you start the research begin at homes. You will put your own people to give you the feedback that this is the right thing or bad thing, then you get the feedback. Though again, there may be a biasness because if the people working in the same company, they may not say bad, but then you can try and put
Yes.
outside also.
Yeah, that's exactly what my point is, because there are people who may not be in your favor. There may be people who are not happy about you. They may not like you to start a program. So all these things come into play. That's what I'm saying.
But then how many people?
Yes.
Not all. 10%. So there is
10%.
outliers in the data always. So that
Yes.
10% you can easily take it into the account. And one more thing I'll tell you, it is my own psychologically belief that अच्छा वो है जो कम बुरा है. This is the right. The one is like the good one is the person who is good who is less bad. So
Right. Yes.
So it means that if you get 80% vote, not 100% I'm expecting, because I know 20% will always be against me. But if I get 80%, it is good enough to start with. That's it. That's my observation.
Right.
You got my point?
Yes.
Yeah. So focus group again sees the advantages. Please understand the advantages and disadvantages, because these questions can come in your exams. That what are these data collection method has a positives, what are the negatives of that particular data method, correct? So if you look at the advantages in depth, obviously, because you will have one-to-one interaction. Diverse perspective is also a very good point here. I completely agree with this point, because this is where you will get multiple mind come into the picture. Then your question can come, then there may be certain minds which will try to avoid it. But I said, okay, yeah, it's fine. I get 80% votes, then it's okay. I'm not expecting 100%. That diversity should be there. Because I'll tell you the impact of this. When the diversity, or you can say the negativity about your program comes, but then there are certain reasons why they are not saying yes. Can you answer those questions to make it better? You think that challenge, you think that negative as a challenge. Okay, oh my God, I got it a good way of looking at it. That okay, these negatives have become my positives now because I'm able to answer them. I'm able to take them as a challenge to answer them. Like for example, they say that okay, this program has little placement. This is a very good point. Though they are many of them are in my favor, but still this point, though it is not in favor, but I want to make it in favor because now this is a challenge for me because any program should have a good placement. Then I will try to seek many industries. And see, this negative have asked me to move into the in those direction to get the answer for those. And when I'm able to answer for those, then those 20% which were my against or my it's not in my favor becomes 15%, become 10% over the period of time if I answer those questions. So this is a diverse perspective is very important to know with a different angle what is about the good and bad about those things. So this is very, very good advantage. Reveals reasoning. Why? That is very, very important. Not only why, how, what. There are few questions which you never think of by yourself as a critical thinker. So these will give you, all these guided discussions will give you those critical thinkings. Why, what happened, what, how. Many questions you will get the answers if you are in a group discussion. Then comes the disadvantages, dominant participant, which you always say that. Niladri, you have this point. There is a dominant participant who always try to lead the group, who always try to say that, no, listen to me only. And he may influence others. That could happen. But then again, how many percentage? He may have a 10% weightage.
Yeah, there are very few
It's
people.
okay. I have 90%.
There are very few, yeah.
There are very few people. Yes. And then group thinking consensus may suppress ideas. This could be a possibility, but it could be a challenge, but it can be converted into the positives, into the advantage if you get the answer of those questions. You got my point?
I think it
Yeah.
depends primarily on the moderator who is, conducting the session. A lot depends on him how he conducts
But
the session.
moderator himself should be unbiased.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
is
He
first
has to
thing.
be unbiased. Yeah, he has to be unbiased.
Otherwise, if it is biased toward one particular point, then even if there are several against, like a majority against, he will never give them a chance to take it forward because he is
Yes.
completely biased towards it. So he,
Yes.
again, there is a certain point or ethics to be come into the picture that moderator himself should be a unbiased person. Now, not generalizable, small, non-representative sample. This is also a problem that if you do not get a big group, 5-10 people group may not be a good group. You need at least 50 odd people to get a good group to start with. So not generalizable. So then it becomes a problem. If you start with a 10, 10, 10, 10, and then you say, I have taken 5. 50 people, you make a generalization? No. You said, okay, I have a 10 people a group and I make a 5 group. And then I got the positive from these persons. But that is again a one portion of it. It's not a full generalizable. So it is not generalizable unless you do it like 50 in a one group and you do it for 10 such groups, 500. So your sample strength, that is again a very important point. How many samples you want to make it before you finalize the things, correct? Okay, so we'll take 2 minutes break. I'll take some water. Sorry. But meanwhile, you have any questions to have answer? I'll be happy to answer. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, just two minutes.
Yeah,
not
we
5.
need a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But any questions I will be answer. Yeah. Today I am looking at that not many interacting today. What happened? That it's everyone is okay. There are have taken the breakfast or what is there?
After 2 classes of gap, everybody will be like inactive,
Oh, I'm so
like
sorry.
usual.
It's my mistake in that case. I'm extremely sorry. But I'll tell you the reason what happened that I think they have informed it or not. On last Saturday, actually, last Sunday, I guess.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, I met an accident before that.
Oh,
My
sorry for
shoulder
that.
was, my shoulder was like fractured. And though it is healing, But on that day, I don't know what happened after the class. On Saturday, I started working something, and then I pulled something very heavy thing from the wounded uh, shoulder.
Okay.
Then it was like little bit more paining on that day, and then I thought that it will be okay by next morning, but then again it was not okay. So I have to tell the organizers that kindly excuse me for not able to take, because my left hand, my shoulder was not working properly on that day, unfortunately. So that's my problem, and I'm sorry for that. So to not be able to be, and now onwards, I'm 100% sure it is going to be very much consistent, and yes, you will enjoy the remaining sessions. That is my guarantee. And last session again, yesterday session, I'll tell you, it was our 18th. Yesterday it was 18th, and it was our Tuesday timetable actually started, and it actually came on 14th. Was not a holiday before. It was a Ambedkar Jayanti. It wasn't been a holiday, but on Monday we got to know that there is a holiday on Tuesday, and Tuesday timetable will be followed on Saturday. That is 18th. Yesterday. So again, I have my regular classes. So again at the same time. So again, I told to them that it is going to be difficult. So sorry for these two gaps, but make interaction, because this is new topic, not the old topic. I don't know. I hope you're enjoying, or you understanding, or what. Without talking, I cannot sense that also.
Yeah, we are enjoying, but after some gap, that silence will be there. By next class,
But
we will
after some, I feel it opposite. I'll tell you, Sushmita, what I feel is that after some gap, people will be more interactive. Oh, I'm going to class now. Let's enjoy. So let's
know
more interactive.
people are like in regular classes also. After 2 days of Saturday, Sunday, weekends, Monday, we will be like a lazy.
Okay. Okay. But for me, I think it's opposite. If you get into the chance of interaction, you should definitely not miss it, because then you never know when we will meet again. Maybe next week only. Okay. Anyway, let's start the session now. I hope everyone is back. Local sources now. This means local sources means uh, local source means you will appoint certain correspondents or local person at various places. This is kind of exactly in the NGO kind of thing. This is local sources where you can put them into certain places, and then they will behave as a representative, and then they will try to cover their regions, geographical regions, and
Yeah, the way we
ev-
do census, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Then they try to get the data, and in fact they collect the data in the real time. What they do, they keep on updating the data on some one hub is there, center hub. Though I don't know, you may have seen this or not. Many of places they try to put the data. For example, I'll tell you very real examples, because I have a lot of real examples. Have you seen this? Um, when you travel in a train, the TT or the ticket collector people come. They have a one certain they used to carry one tablet with themselves. I hope you have seen this. Say yes or no. At least you must have seen this. This is a very common thing, or unless
Yes.
you have not traveled by train.
Yes, sir.
Tablet
You have
means you're
traveled
talking about the device tablet.
device tablet, which carries all the information about
Yes.
the travelers,
Yes, sir.
passengers.
That is
Passenger,
recent. That is a
passenger.
recent change. Initially, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a
earlier
recent.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So this recent change, have you seen that this is like centralized?
Yes.
They try to put yes or no on that data, on that birth, that this person has come, and this is informed to all the persons
Yes.
who is having that like within that like say few there are many TTs who board on the train, and they do for their particular bogies, like coaches. Not all are present everywhere, but there are certain people present in certain bogies only, correct? So they have that one certain system which carries in information. For example, let's say B333, let's suppose. If B333 person says no one has come, that guy who is looking at that B9 or B12 also, let's suppose, he also knows it that there is no person. He also knows it that there is no one there in that particular bogie, in the particular coach. And if someone is in a need, let's say an army person comes and, okay, I have to go urgently and this and I have a ticket, but it's waiting. He can allot it. Do you see this? This is exactly the real locally like you can say that playing a role in this case. Though it gives you a lot of information about that where the seats are vacant, which place you can actually fill in.
But
So
sir,
this,
I believe that this information is more misused than used.
that is a secondary issue.
Mm.
But I'll tell you. But do you see that as an example fit to
Yes,
this
sir.
point or not?
Yeah, we have observed.
Yes.
So here you can see that this example is particularly fit in here, that you can get the information of small clusters. Cluster here, I mean like a particular regions, areas, and then you can collect the data and then put it on someone's certain server online, and everyone can see to it. Okay, there is a, for example, there is certain flood had come in a particular region. How many? How do this government got to know that there is a, how many packets I have to drop? Like whenever there's a flood relief thing comes in, the helicopter comes. They started putting the packets so in certain regions. How do they get to know this information? Via this continuous collection. They're trying to get the local sources inside that. Every particular region, they have a local person who will try to cover a particular coverage, has to cover, and then he will try to put that information and put it on online or somewhere he will put it so that everyone can see it. And then if there's a flood related issue, then the helicopter will come and then army people will start dropping the food packets to those people. Like there are 100 people are suffering or 100 families. On every family, they will put for 2 or 3 food packets. So likewise, they can create that information. So this is a local source way of collecting the data. Now comes the secondary data collection, which is also very, very important. But yes, when there is no possibility of primary, then only we should go for secondary. If there is a possibility of primary, we should not go for secondary. First of all, please keep that thing in mind, because primary is the one which is the original, I told you, that right one from the origin source.
Yes.
If you want to really, or if you want to really know that how that this what was the name of this ship which was sink? I forget it.
Titanic.
Titanic. Sometimes
Titanic.
your mind does not work. So Titanic, how it had happened. So you should not be on their ship to understand what happened on that day. But yes, in that case, secondary data is there to know that. But yes, there are certain places where you can collect the data originally. You should try to do that. Don't rely on others or publish by others. You capture it. Try to publish or get the data from the original source. But yes, if it is not possible or it is not deemed doable or feasible, then you should go for secondary. So information already collected, processed, and published by others, it comes in the category of secondary data collection. Means there is some existing data resource and it is readily available. It is already, maybe some analysis might have already been done. It is also possible that then it will save your time, obviously. Data collection has already been done. You just have to see some other aspect to it, maybe in a different angle to it, which might have not been seen in that original source. We do it a lot of this thing in terms of research. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. For example, we have one research in baby cry classification. I don't know whether I've told you or this point or not. We do a lot of real-time work. So what does this baby cry classify? So for that, we obviously, the primary source should be that I should go into the hospital and then start collecting the data from the babies which are coming for regular checkup, or they are in ICU, NICU, PICU, whatever it is. They are admitted in certain places, and then I go and collect the data. Though again, it's the ethical issues. I have to take a lot of ethical approvals, blah blah blah, and consensus of the parents. Of course, all these things come into the picture.
So data
But
for
let's
what
suppose
exactly?
data of cry.
Okay, the voice.
voice,
Okay.
audio data. For example, you must have seen that when the baby is born, if he or she has a hole in his or her heart, is a pathological cry significantly different from the normal cry.
Is it? I am
So
not aware of that. Yeah.
I've been working on it. So for last 7 years, I
Oh.
have seen it through in and out and how difficult it is. And for rural area, just think about it. If the baby born, they do not know what is the reason. They cannot rush every time to the hospital, which is very far. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to put a kind of an app on a mobile phone, which will record your voice. You have to just put the record button on, and it will give you the reasons for the cry. Is for suffering from pain, is suffering from hunger, or is what is the reason of that cry? Is a nappy problem or blah blah blah, whatever the reason is it.
That is
All these
wonderful.
things we are doing it from last 7 years. We have published a lot of work. We have been patenting in this too.
Okay.
Some So
Yeah, sorry
but
for the interruption.
yes, please.
Actually, I had that same problem. My kid was in 3 months. She was 3 months when she was making some
Yeah.
sound. I couldn't able to
Yes.
find what it was. Then we recorded
Absolutely.
that and we went to the doctor and we asked about that.
And this is exactly to the assist. Now I'm saying that again, we publish whenever we put this point in front, we say that we are not replacing the doctors. We are just assisting the pediatrician, assisting the first time mothers, first time parents. It is going to be helpful for them to know the reasons of their baby cry.
So, sir,
And we
what is the
actually,
stage? What is the stage of that app right now? Like, how far has it gone in terms of research?
We have developed on the web host. We have to just put it on the mobile phones.
Okay.
We have put it on our local server.
The
And that
patenting is
local
done.
server link, yeah, we have done that. We have put it on the local server, everything. That link, I can share it. You can also try and test it for your own baby or something like that. That is for doable.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is that this data collection, do you think it's going to be easy? Just why I did put this point first is that this primary is to collect the data at the hospitals from the baby itself. Do I need to put myself every day there and spend my night there to collect the data? Do you think it is very easy?
No, it's not feasible.
Or it's not feasible. That's my point was. Then what you will do now? You will stop working in that area.
I'll find out something else. Yeah, any other method.
Alternative ways.
Find out something else.
Yes.
Find out something else, or you need to read this point, which I've highlighted. What is it?
Previous existing data sources.
Absolutely right. There are certain open source databases. Some of other people have already done that in their research, and they have collected the data in particular environment where there is a baby cry and there are certain reasons for the cry. They have also annotated that reason also. Annotated means they have provided the label to the cry, audio cry, that this cry is reason of nappy problem, this is hunger problem, or this is something problem, or gas has happened, or some or discomfort has happened. And how do they get that labels? From the doctors, from their mothers. Mothers are also like first time mothers may not be that understanding the reasons, but second time, third time, they got to know that okay, now the kid is feeling hungry, or kid requires nappy is a problem, or like diaper has been a problem or something like that. They can identify the reason. So but then question is existing data source is already there. So then I will do the secondary data collection from there. But what is left out in that in those data is that the analysis part. They do not have some strong reasons for their cry, or some analysis is very less been done, or attention has not been focused on how to increase that data. That we can increase, we can do that research in secondary data. So this is the reason I was trying to say where you need for secondary in those places. One example I quoted here, that in such scenarios. Okay. So secondary data can come from research paper, I told you, books, company records, government reports, statistical database. Let's talk about the published sources where we can get the data. Books are very useful. You can actually, you must have seen in the I do not want to take the exact names, but in the recent parliament discussions, they are quoting many books. You must have seen that, and
Yes.
they have some published that's what I said. I do not want to take the names, but you can see that they are quoting some published resources to tell that this is what had happened, this is what this is what has been done. So all these are like resources where you can get the secondary information. Then you have a journals. So we as a researcher, lot of information we get, like baby cry. I got to know many open source database from the journals, and there are many database which we are working on. But I'll happy to tell you that we have also collected 120 samples inside the doctor premises in the hospitals from the multiple babies for different cries. So we did that activity also to get and test on our data. Though we have trained it on AI, trained it on the open source, which was there like by people, primary peoples. But now for us to validate, we have done on our own database also, which we collected. Then comes a news.
Sir,
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sir, I have already seen some reels from doctors or maybe some other
Yeah.
people are there. So they have already put the this thing that the cry, listen to the cry, and there are different types of cries. So that is also part of this the research you
Absolutely.
doing?
Yes, but they do not see the acoustic significance. Like we see some patterns. That's what I said in the beginning. You need to identify the patterns of the reasons to identify that natural cry has a different pattern. But when it comes to pathological, let's say the baby is suffering from having a hole in his or her heart, that cry is significantly having a higher pitch than the normal cry. That is one example I'm telling you. They
Yeah,
may have
because
a
now only
but
the 3 to 4 kinds of cry they have make the reels by some
yeah,
doctors. So maybe detail it will come when your research will be done.
absolutely. We are already on top of it or doing this research. You can put my name in Karan Nathwani and then see baby cry. You will see a lot of papers also now,
Okay.
which are published. In fact, if you are interested, if some of you are interested, please feel free to discuss with us because we can do it together also. If you have certain new ideas on top of it, we can help. We can do joint work as well. Okay. So then comes a newspaper is also one source where you can get a lot of information. Like many of the sources, you can lot of general affairs, day-to-day life affairs you can see on the newspaper. And government publications are already there, reports, articles, websites. Let's talk about the unpublished, where you cannot have authenticity. Authentication may be a little bit less there of the published source than the published source in the case of unpublished. So records which are unpublished, survey can be, like you can say, manipulated. Certain people say that it is more important, certain people say it is less important. So survey cannot be 100% sure. Research reports, though it is ethically proven to be correct, but you never know. I'll tell you this this thing when I was doing my PhD. I'll tell you one story, 1 minute story only. We cannot rely on Chinese papers on the research. When I was doing my research PhD there, because my supervisor and I have this thought that okay, everything is very nice, but then when they started replicating those results, reproducing those results, we found a certain gap. Then there are certain reasons that we have to avoid reading those Chinese papers because those are like completely so good. But those results, those data were so good, but we cannot rely on that. And that's what we found it. That maybe it is my perception. Maybe others can have others researcher may have a different opinion. But for me, I feel that it was certain difficulty to reproduce those numbers which they have published. Then comes the diaries.
The research? I mean, is it the language which is the barrier or something else?
No. Their numbers, like for example, they say I have done the baby cry classification with 90%.
Okay.
And they have published this idea with certain architecture, certain AI they have applied, or certain methods they have applied. We reproduce those methods. Reproduce means we implemented those work. We write the whole code in Python and then try to do it exactly what they have mentioned in their paper. Then we found that it is not 90, it is 80% only.
And why is it so?
That-
Like, what is the reason?
it could be that we are doing it not correctly, but we are following exactly the same lines what they have mentioned in their paper. That take it this much of the training and test plate and blah blah blah. All the parameters what they have mentioned, or the hyperparameters what they mentioned,
Yeah, but
we
see,
put
the
it
reason,
exactly same thing.
yeah, the reason I'm asking this question is
Sorry?
because the reason I'm asking this question is
Yeah.
because they are the leaders in manufacturing across the world. So, like, their research papers are not up to the mark. I mean, it sounds a little strange to me. I'm not sure if everybody agrees with it.
I too also felt the same when I started reading, and then when we reproduced, then we found that there are numbers were not matching.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not again I'm not saying that you should rely on my point itself. But my point is that research reports certain times it cannot be fully authenticated.
Okay.
That is my point.
Okay.
Maybe Chinese example which I quote is I have felt it. Maybe you may have not felt that. Again, as I
Yes,
said,
yes,
it's
yes.
a
Yeah.
person to person. You cannot
Yeah, it can vary.
full. Yeah, it varies. So you don't have to rely on my point. But what I am trying to say is research reports.
Yes.
Certain comes in unpublished one. They have certain issues in authentication. Okay, sometimes, not always. Okay, then diaries, letters, personal documents, you cannot have, those are unpublished sources where you can rely and you cannot rely. Both the things are possible in this case. Then summary of the data collection. We first-hand data collected directly, current and relevant.
Sir,
Yes,
one
please. Yeah.
question, sir.
Yes,
Then
please.
how
Yeah.
much we have to make sure that
Yeah.
the unpublished data is to be used further, or how?
Very good point. How much percentage? I cannot give you the percentage exact as of now. What I can give you the procedure to take it forward if you have an unpublished source. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, if you have an unpublished source, then try to do research to see, and then get some related information that whether this source which is unpublished is right or not from the other published sources.
So basically,
Similar.
we need to do all the research work on that
Absolutely.
unpublished sources.
Unpublished, because here you have to put more efforts, time, and research, investigation to validate your point that, yeah, I have to rely only when I have full confidence. And when will you get the full confidence on unpublished? When you see the related stuff. When you see the related research, related investigation has already been done, then you say, okay, now I think this is correct, though it is unpublished, but I can still go with it.
Yeah. Okay.
That percentage I cannot give you that. Oh, then I say 90%. Then if you say, okay, I got 89, should I go ahead? I said, this is a very childish question, that 89, 90, how does it matter? But only matter is whether that unpublished source has those content which is already there in the published source. So you have to put more efforts. That's the only point I'm trying to say. You cannot, I am not saying that you should not rely, but before relying, make sure that you have put enough efforts, enough time, enough investigation to justify your claim that even it is unpublished source, I can rely on it.
So,
Got
as
it?
per your experience in your field
Yeah.
of work, like,
Yes,
what is your
yes.
experience? Is like published records are more reliable, and is it unpublished records which has helped you more in your research?
See, published is already been the most authenticated, not the
Okay.
most compared to the primary. It is second most, I would say. But again, better than the unpublished. You don't have to put more efforts. In the published, it is already there. It has already been recorded somewhere. Some authentication has already been done while recording, while putting in the records, while narrating those stories. Everything has been very careful. But when it comes to unpublished, you have to put a lot of efforts.
So you're saying that when we don't have the access to published sources, then only we should go to unpublished. Is that what your conclusion is?
Yes, I
Okay.
would say yes. I would say yes. But let's suppose if the published sources are not available, then please go with the unpublished, but make sure that related stuff should be there to make sure
Yes.
your claim is correct. Correct?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, I'll again a very bad example. If A is equal to B and if B is equal to C, can I say A is equal to C?
Yeah, by mathematics, we can say that.
Exactly what is the unpublished source is there. So again, yeah, coming back to this primary data, it's a high accuracy and quality control, because you cannot have any second thought of, though biasness is always there. Again, you may have seen in my results, in my discussions, that biasness, I have been keep on talking about this point since the beginning. So even if it's in the primary data, it can also be in the secondary data, because the biasness will always be there. But make sure that when you do large number of samples, biasness may goes down in that case. So that's only way to have a high accuracy and quality control. But when it comes to the secondary data already collected by others, readily available, cost effective, because it's a time saving, it's just use it. I told you the data baby cry classification, I don't have to spend my time, though again I did that, but at the first point, I will start from what is already published, what is already there as a database. I just use it as it is, cost effective, time saving. So transition to data cleansing. It's a very important point. Before we end today, let's see that how this step comes into the picture. First, data collection has been done from various sources, which we already spent a lot of time. Now, cleansing means prepare the data for analysis, clean the data. What kind of cleansing can be done? Like, for example, real records may have missing files. Like you must have seen that in the case of data of this, what is this? Jangadana. What is we say in English?
Census.
Census data. Yeah. Census data may have certain missing files, missing columns, or may have missing rows, something like that. How do you believe those things? You may have to do interpolation, you may have to do some kind of pre-processing to make sure that the data is complete in all aspects.
No, but I will
And
give you
so
an
that-
example here. So
Yeah,
the
please.
example which
Yeah.
I had was because there was a lady who came to my place. I currently stay in Bangalore, and they were doing some research, right? Some upper caste, lower caste data was being collected. So there was a
Correct.
question asked to me like, how much amount of gold do you have? Okay, now the lady who's asking the question, she also knows that no one will give that information correctly, but she has to fill in that blank, and she is filling
Okay,
it
then-
on her own judgment.
Oh,
So that is where the form which they prepare at times is very misleading. That is what leads to the wrong data collection. That's what my experience is.
I agree, because data census data is like very important in the sense that if you give a wrong information, the population and the other numbers may not be accurate. You understand my point? Like
Mhm.
if we say 140 crores and if it is only 120, then you see how much difference it comes.
Yes, it doesn't make any sense, and no one will give you that information, how much money they have, how much gold they have, how much jewelry they have.
How much gold? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, if
So-
somebody is not available at that time at home, these kind
Yes.
of-
So that is a different thing, that the person is not available, you can write it down. But if you say that this is the amount of gold, like 4 kg, or whatever the amount is, I'm not too much aware of gold and jewelry and all that stuff, but this is misleading data. So it does not lead to any information or any research. Which should not be included. That's what my point is, that the form should be created correctly.
I completely agree. But then what should we do in this case? See, if let's suppose other way around, you think about it, that if if a lady comes and asks for the data information and you say, I do not give, then what she will fill? She have to fill something.
No, but suppose I am preparing the form, I would myself
Uh-huh.
know that if I go to someone and ask that person about how much gold do you have, that person may not even know how much gold he has at that point of time, or what is the measurement of that gold, or what is he asking in terms
But
of
would
rupees or dollars. Yeah.
Would that make a difference of the high poverty line and below poverty line? That is what you're trying to say?
I don't know
How
what was
many
the basis of that question. So it
maybe
was
annual income is okay for
annual income is
understanding the
okay. Annual income
below
is okay,
poverty line
fine.
and high HPL or BPL.
Yes, that is
high,
understandable. That is understandable, but now this gold information, obviously what they are trying to establish is that this is the amount of the population in this particular caste, which is above the poverty line or below the poverty line. Now, if you get a
Okay.
data, you start asking about gold. First of all, most people will not have gold. Secondly, most people will have misleading information. So this data is of no importance. But yes, it is also important that we need to know how much gold it has, because due to that calculation, people will know how much is below poverty line and how much people are above poverty line.
I agree, but only annual income can give that number itself. Why gold information is required?
No, because that
Anyway,
is property.
yeah.
That is property collection. Like if you have gold, you are
Property,
above.
yeah.
You are above that
But
line. Yeah.
But it's okay. I'll say that there are multiple features to give you that answer. Like one feature would be your annual income. One feature will be your gold. One feature will be your how many houses you have, immovable property you have, how many things you have. All these things can be combined together. But yes, again, that data is incomplete in any form. Can you do the analysis? The third step. What is your
In that
answer?
case also, that can be put as unanswered so that some rough idea can be given.
Then that column will not be considered.
Yes. Most
That
of the people
column
will not give that information. That is the problem.
information. That there are ways to do that. We can remove that column which is unanswered.
You know, the reason I'm asking this question is because when I gave a thought to it, so I understood that people might have inherited that gold from their ancestors. It might have it might be in their lockers, it might be in their home, but their annual income is very low. So how would you judge that they are below poverty line or above poverty line? That's what I came to the conclusion.
And that is a good point, because one factor is low, one factor is high, and then how do you decide?
Yes.
That's a good point. But again, that comes in the analysis part. How do you get the extract, the inside information, and to make a decision? What you said, below poverty, above poverty.
Yes.
All these things will be done only when you have filled the columns, all those columns. If the certain number or certain columns are not being filled, we may have to remove from that particular aspect, or we may have to put the interpolation. Like for example, I'll give you an example, which is very beautiful example here. Okay, the person who had given the information about his annual income beyond certain, let's say 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs an annual income. So we will put it in the above poverty line, correct? Agree with everyone?
Yes.
Everyone is okay with that? Okay. Now, next, if he by mistake had given no answer or NA, unanswered in the column where it says the gold you have, would that matter?
No, it would not
Above
matter.
poverty line.
It would not
Exactly.
matter.
So then please understand the next point. What I'm trying to say, you can fill anything above the poverty line. You can see the overall average. Put it above the average. Hardly matters. Your analysis still be correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not very convinced with that, because there are a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people who, I mean, stay like very.
Niladri.
Yes.
Niladri, what I'm trying to say, if you are already pass in 5 subjects, and you have given 6 subjects.
Okay. I have passed.
And and the condition says if you pass in 5 out of 6,
yes, I'm a
then
pass.
you will be cleared pass.
Yeah, that's right.
Then 6th hardly matters, you gave it or you leave it, or you pass it or fail it, or whatever is the number you get. Do you think if I put the average mark above that, will that also suffices the need?
Yes.
That now you convince the point. What I'm trying to say, if your column is already above, if your annual income is above 10 or 15 lakhs, which says that it is beyond the poverty line says 1 lakh, and now you are earning 15 lakhs, it hardly matters you have a gold or not, no gold.
No, I'm not
Then
saying in
still-
my case. It's not my case. I'm saying
No,
there are
no,
a lot
not
of people.
not in your case. I'm talking in general. If that person suffices one of the columns, then why, if that information he has not given, I can put that any information, even if it is wrong, but that will not give me the wrong result, because the wrong result is already correct. The analysis will still the complete. Why? Because I have to prepare those data. I have to fill that numbers.
Yes, you're right. In fact, I was just thinking about it when we were speaking. I just came to the thought that the person who has gold will never stay below poverty line, will sell that gold.
No, even if it is
Yeah,
saying
exactly.
that's a good point. But anyway, my point is that if you have already filled that column, the other columns who also gave the same information output result,
Hmm.
it is not going to hamper my analysis because I just have to fill that number because my answer will still be the same. My answer is not going to the change, the
Yeah,
output.
I got my answer.
Yeah. So
So, sir,
that's
it's
the
totally dependent on the analyst, what conditions that he has to accept, means what are the acceptable conditions for him to analyze
Mhm.
his data. So, is that correct?
I agree. The condition here I put that 1 lakh above is above annual income will be above poverty line, correct? So that
Yes, it means
condition, if
either
it is
he
already
can,
fulfilled,
yes,
if it
yes.
is that fulfilled, then other columns which also tells you about the poverty line, for example, gold, for example, property, or XYZ, if you have not informed that, you can fill any number there
Yes.
because that analysis is not going to change because your output remains the same. You are above the poverty line.
Yes, so means it's totally depend on what conditions you have put over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is something like one of them is satisfied, then you are above poverty line.
Yes.
Why I'm saying poverty line because there are multiple answers to be provided to say that okay, you are above poverty line or below poverty line. Okay, yeah. So how much time we are left with? I think
7 minutes.
7 minutes. So should I proceed or maybe continue in the next one?
So please continue in the next session.
Okay, I think it's
Uh,
going beyond your head, or what is it?
no, that's not an issue. Actually, today we learn the most of the theory parts now. So
Yeah.
that became quite heavy, but I understood
Okay.
all the things. Just
Mm.
one suggestion from my side
Please.
is that
Yes, please.
will you please include some kind of questions after the completion of any theoretical part so that we will get the key how the pattern of
Yeah.
questions is there. I mean, how
Okay,
what are
okay.
the types of questions we are going to answer for the exam we are going to
Okay.
give the
Yeah,
next
that's a good
means.
point. That's
Yes,
a good
yes, I
point.
agree with that. I agree.
I'll explain it now only because we have 7 minutes. So I am not going to teach
Either
new
you
things.
can send us a PDF or whatever the link, or either you can
Yes,
include in
yes.
the sessions only, means according to
I'll
you, what you.
I will put after the session. Okay, that is okay with you? That some of the sample questions or something like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
that's
yeah,
fine.
fine,
Fine.
fine, fine. Okay,
Yes.
perfect, perfect.
Which will be exactly relevant to the exam we are going to appear for.
Absolutely,
That's the
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine, fine, fine.
Thank you so
But
much.
hope you have enjoyed the lecture. I'm not
Yes,
making
yes,
bore or
definitely,
something like
definitely.
that.
We
Yes,
So
sir, yeah. We understand. Actually, you are giving all the points. That is why we don't have much questions.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
thing.
The
Actually,
examples
Dipti
you're
said very well.
providing,
no, I felt other way around, Deepti, that if I have asked, like if there is no doubt, it means nothing has been understood.
nothing understand understood.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Kind
not
of
not
like
that.
It is something
not
like
in
that.
this case.
My father used to tell me when you go for blood test, you will have more doubts. So no blood test, no doubt. So yeah, I'm sorry for digressing. Yeah, but any other questions you have for today's session? So we still have 5 minutes. We can still talk. We can still discuss something which is very relevant and which you find it not understandable
We
in
can
today's
discuss
session.
some questions if possible.
Yeah, questions could be that maybe you will be asked about the pros and cons
Okay.
about each and every step.
So
Like
will
I
it
have told
be
you,
MCQ multiple choice
MCQ,
or
yes, multiple choice question can be done. That where do you think interaction is more possible? So
Mhm.
you will be given. So you can be tell that okay, in a group like group discussions, you will
Mhm.
get more data. So crowdsourcing come in which category? Like that,
So
you will get those questions.
is it only MCQ or we will have descriptive questions as well?
I need to check with the organizers what
Okay.
they prepared because last time what they did, like I have to see that they have not asked any questions, but I think they were doing some kind of multiple choice questions. Many of them have done that only. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But still, I will let you know by the next time we met. I will let you know the pattern and everything. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But the questions could be in the
Okay.
same lines. Yeah. That whatever we have discussed in today's session, it will be on the same lines.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, about a topic which is Praveen, what is your question, sir? Any source to fetch the information about the topic which you can get a lot of points on the internet, the primary data. You just pull that information, you will get many things. Though there are not many because it's just prepared from my own understanding. I have not done many of the books referred. So you may not get in a one single source. Maybe you will get in multiple sources. Yeah.
Okay. Amle sir, is there any drive that you share? You dump all these files which we discussed.
One single source, as I said, it's difficult because some of the things is prepared from my own understanding.
Okay.
I gave you a lot of examples. Did those examples available in those books? No.
Okay.
I gave the baby cry classification. It's my own novel idea. It's my own novel research, and it's a
Yes, yes,
real time work. No one has done that. It's just me have started and thinking something which is related to the society. Oral cancer, many of them have done it in a different aspect. I'm doing it with again the audio. So those
Okay.
things may not be available directly. But yes, again, you search it and then you will get a lot of related stuff. Again, unpublished.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I just want to know,
Sir,
sir,
I have
what
a
material is in the course material?
Today's I think let me stop share it and then whom to send it. Should I put it on the chat now?
Yes,
If you
sir.
all are okay?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
yes, please, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
doing it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, that will be great. Yeah, and just give me a minute. First session, I hope you have got it.
No, sir, I don't have any.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
How come?
So
Yeah,
that
we
is
should, we don't have the transcripts of, not the transcripts, but at least the PDFs.
But I have shared it, I guess.
It's in the portal,
Sir,
sir.
it's available in the
LMS,
portal.
LMS,
Yeah, it's
portal.
LMS.
available in
LMS portal
MS.
is available.
Yes, yes, yes.
where it is in the course materials or where upcoming schedule where?
It
No,
is in the course
It's a
material.
new
You
course
can
course
check it
material.
material
out
itself.
there.
Course material. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. We need to enroll now, right?
My course and
You
assignments,
you
where
have
you get all the
already
assignments and material. There it
Yeah.
is at the last.
Yeah. Now I get. Yeah.
Just give me a minute. I'm finishing this data collection. Here. So I'm sharing it on the chat. I hope you can see this. Please have a look at it. No, it's taking time. It's a
Not it, yeah.
6 MB. It's 6 MB. It is taking time. Why it could not be sent? Why? Retry. Oh, maybe there is some issue with the higher MB files. Whom to send this? I think should I send it to
You can send it to us.
the same email ID Nitya one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll do it now itself. I hope you have enjoyed the session, and if you feel anything not able to understand, please let me know. I'll put it in the next session.
So has it finished uploading it?
I have sent it to the Excel, but via this one is not, file could not be sent. Some issue, unfortunately. But I have sent it
So
to
I have
to
one
the
question. After how long will this session be available online?
that you
Yeah.
can check with the
That
Excel.
will be after 8 hours. How you will get regular recording? Like that only you will get after 8 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Hope you will see again on next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Yes.